Hello folks, Simon here, welcome back to the channel. Now I do realise we haven't been speaking a whole lot about the next generation around these parts, but with the Xbox Series X and the PS5 due to hit in just under 5 months now, it's probably about time that we start doing so. And I do have a few updates for you in regards to the PS5, some interesting news articles that have been popping up online over the last few days. Now before we get to that, I will mention that there is a rumour going around that there is going to be another PS5 event on the 6th of August, live streamed by Sony. And if that happens, and I do stress it is just a rumour at the moment, though apparently it is a credible rumour, a lot of the mainstream gaming media sites are sharing it, then I think it's likely we will start to hear stuff about pre-order dates and things of that nature, since we are starting to get close to that time where they are going to want to start seeing numbers and stuff, I'd imagine, for both Microsoft and for Sony. So yeah, just keep an eye on that, the 6th of August, though still not officially confirmed by Sony. Okay, right, so one of the features that Microsoft have officially announced for the Xbox Series X is a feature known as Smart Delivery, and that is where some of the games that you've purchased on Xbox One will have a free upgrade to the Xbox Series X version of that game, if of course there's going to be an Xbox Series X edition of it. Now, interestingly, the PS5 also has, it seems, the same thing, the same feature, but for some reason Sony haven't really marketed it, they haven't spoken about it. Maybe it's something they're going to be revealing properly later on at one of those upcoming events, like the one I just mentioned, if that goes ahead. But we do know that something similar is in the works. And the following games here on pushsquare.com have all been confirmed to be able to give players a free upgrade to the PS5 version of that game if they purchased it already on PS4. So, for example, the latest Assassin's Creed, which on PS4, well, it's just got a table here. I'll leave a link to this down in the description below so you can see how we can expect the PS5 version of the game to run in comparison to the previous generation. And just to confirm, as far as I'm aware, this is the next generation version of the game. It's not like any kind of backwards compatibility to the PS4 version. But that's already been announced, of course. What we are seeing here is the PS5 version of the game being delivered to PS4 owners. Now, there are some limitations. First of all, we don't know if this is going to work for first-party games. Sony haven't even announced this feature yet, so it makes sense that we don't know about their own games, such as Last of Us Part 2, for example, or The Ghost of Tsushima. I know a few people would love to see those coming to PS5, you know, as part of the free upgrade if they've already purchased the PS4 version. But also, this is going to work slightly differently if you are going to own a digital console for PS5. So you remember there's two consoles. We've got the standard disc-based console, which can have disc games or digital games. And then we have the cheaper digital option, which does not have a disc drive in it. Now, the way that this free upgrade is going to work, the way I understand it, is if you own a game digitally on PS4, let's say you own Destiny 2 on PS4 digitally, then you will be able to use the free upgrade of that game to get the PS5 version of Destiny 2, whether you own the standard disc console or whether you own the digital-only console of PS5. But if you have the disc version of Destiny 2 on PS4, then you can only use the free upgrade to the PS5 version of Destiny 2 on the disc-based version of PS5. Presumably then, once you put the PS4 disc into the console, it will download the PS5 version of the game. But of course, the digital edition of the console doesn't have that disc drive, so there's no way for it to know that you actually do own the disc of Destiny 2. So just bear that in mind if you're going to be making use of the free upgrade for many of these different games, and you own most of those games on disc on PS4, then you may want to prefer to get the disc version of the PS5 console. Now, I do know this doesn't seem like a very long list at the moment of games, but once more, this isn't something that Sony have officially announced, so the only games we currently have confirmed to be taking advantage of this free upgrade from PS4 to PS5 are those games where the publishers themselves have commented on it. But as Sony, you know, do actually announce this, then I'm sure we'll start to see other titles, perhaps some of those first-party titles as well, being added to this list. Okay, right, next up, and this is interesting. Sony have filed a new patent for information processing device. Now, I'm not very technical, so I'm not going to pretend to really know what this is all about. But in effect, this sounds, according to the internet, this sounds very similar to technology that Nvidia make, known as DLSS graphics technology. And what this is, I'm going to try and bring it down so that if I can understand it, then I'm sure you guys can as well. This is going to be a technology that uses machine learning, something that many of us have been hearing about over the last couple of years as it's become popular, to effectively upscale lower resolution content into 4K quality content. Now, unlike a lot of other upscaling technologies, the NVIDIA technology, the DLSS, does it really, really fantastically. So that there is very, very little, if any, difference between looking at native 4K content and looking at content that is not 4K but has been upscaled using the DLSS machine technology to 4K. Now, the advantage of this is that you are effectively getting 4K content, but with a fraction of the system resources required. So that means that you can pump those resources, that hardware, into putting out other graphical fidelity increases in other areas, whilst not having to focus on pumping out a higher resolution. So if you've not seen the DLSS stuff from NVIDIA, then there are videos that showcase that online, and it does look absolutely fantastic. It really, really does. Now, if Sony are going to be able to utilize this same kind of technology, then that means that the PS5 hardware is not going to be caught up having to, put out these higher resolutions, and can instead be used in other areas, so that we can get just a fantastic picture. And as far as we're concerned, it's still being output in that beautiful 4K. So yeah, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about this, because this could be a bit of a game changer here. And I have to wonder if Microsoft are also going to be doing something similar. Okay, and then finally for today, this sounds interesting. PlayStation 5 Instant Access System will be called Activities. So this is something that was touched on very briefly before by Sony, but we didn't really get a lot of detail about it. Effectively, what this is, and this is going to be utilizing the super fast NVMe SSD drive that the PS5 is going to be having equipped in it. What this means is that the Activities feature is going to allow you to launch your game from the PS5 home screen, from the desktop, or the just the interface, whatever we call it. Is going to be able to launch the game into various, I guess, whatever developers choose, various aspects of the game rather than just the title screen. So, just as an example off the top of my head, maybe you can launch straight from, from the PS5 home screen straight into Chapter 16 to start your farming in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay, you don't have to go to the title screen and then go and access various save files and all of that stuff like we do currently. So this is going to be a great time saver, especially in perhaps MMOs or other games where there's lots of farming involved or various other activities, and you just want to be able to get straight there, such as maybe in Destiny 2, you want to see if a quest has spawned. Rather than having to load the whole game up, you can just go straight to that area and see if it's there, straight from the PS5 home screen. This could potentially be a very, very fun feature indeed. And yeah, it's called Activities. We don't know too much about it yet right now, and it's probably going to be up to the developers for each game as to how it's used for their games, but it's just using that new fast SSD technology that the PS5 is going to have equipped with it. Now, the Xbox Series X, of course, is also going to have similar SSD technology, so, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something coming to the Xbox along these same lines also. And we actually do have a confirmed example here with the upcoming game that should be WRC 9. And the example here, this is a racing game, is that you will be able to launch from the PS5 home screen directly into various different races or other parts of the game. So yeah, that sounds pretty exciting. One of the things I've noticed is that a big marketing push is being given for both consoles actually for this next generation on increased loading times and just generally a lot less waiting around to actually getting to play the game. So this feature ties into that. But please do share your thoughts down in the comments on some of these news articles we've been looking at today. We've got the free upgrades from various PS4 games to their PS5 counterparts. We've got that technology being patented by Sony, which sounds remarkably like the technology NVIDIA has made that allows us to upscale games from sub 4K resolutions to 4K without any discernible difference between that and native 4K. And then we've got this final piece of news talking about activities and being able to launch games directly from the home screen to various parts of those games. So yeah, what do you think of this stuff, guys? Are you excited for the PS5? What else would you like to know? One thing I am looking forward to, actually, for both consoles really, is just having a reveal of the actual interfaces for those consoles, what their dashboards look like. You know, the PS4 dashboard was never really that well loved. From what I understand, it does seem a little bit clunky to some people, so I wonder if Sony are going to be learning a lot from that. I'm sure they will be. But yeah, please do let us know what you think down in the comments below. But thanks for stopping by. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.